Chosen one, God is moving your finances. Start by watching this. There are rare moments in your life when the air shifts, the wind carries a different vibration, and something begins to happen around your name in the unseen realms. Right now, this is that moment. What you're sensing, what you're noticing around your financial life, isn't random. God is moving. The system that once restricted your flow is starting to tremble. A new signal has gone out, one that has your name on it, one that overrides delay and initiates a fresh movement of provision that no earthly gatekeeper can deny. Watch this video until the very end. Let it sit in your spirit. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and write Amen along with the number 777. This moment is a chapter where wishes sent into the atmosphere start magnetizing new realities. You are not simply hoping, you are charging the frequency of your life with divine electricity. So don't hold back what you feel led to say. Speak it. Write it. Release it. Let your words be the spark that completes the divine circuit of manifestation. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, you didn't just arrive at this point by accident. The journey here had tension. It had frustration. It had moments where you asked yourself, where is the shift? Where is the movement? Why does everything feel still? But God has been moving behind the veil, engineering a new infrastructure for your financial ecosystem. It wasn't just about making money. It was about resetting the entire environment around your worth. The pause you experienced wasn't punishment. It was precision. And now, the precision has become movement. The movement has begun. Something is now being activated that was previously withheld. Not because you weren't deserving, but because the time wasn't right. God didn't want you to walk into rooms that weren't yet prepared for your value. He didn't want you entering financial spaces that weren't aligned with your frequency. That's why so many doors closed, doors you thought were opportunities. But they weren't. They were distractions. What's coming now is not just a breakthrough, it's a correction. A divine correction of everything that once tried to downplay your financial future. There is a push in the spiritual realm where God is not just blessing you randomly. No, He is positioning you. Money is moving, and this time, it's being assigned. It's not floating around waiting to find someone. It's coming toward you. Specific sums, targeted amounts, allocated wealth. Chosen one, what once looked like chaos in your finances was simply God rearranging the flow to make room for an inflow that had your name stamped on it. The flow had to stop for a while because what was coming was too big to arrive in a broken pipeline. The old system couldn't carry it. The leaky vessels around you couldn't hold it. So God let things dry up, not to starve you, but to safeguard the new. He allowed you to walk through days of almost nothing so you'd recognize the weight of what's about to be released. And now, the release is not just approaching, it has already been initiated. You can feel the energy changing. You can feel the inner confirmation even when the outside hasn't shown it yet. This is how divine movements begin. Invisible first, undeniable later. You're in the early vibrations of a financial earthquake. The kind that doesn't just shake the bank account, but shakes the systems that previously ignored your name. You're starting to become a force in atmospheres where you were once invisible. You're being recognized, not because you begged to be, but because God elevated your essence to be too powerful to overlook. The economy of heaven doesn't follow the rules of earth. And right now, heaven's attention is fully on you. And when heaven turns its face towards someone, things move. Delays vanish. Deadlines get rewritten. Processes get reversed. That's what's happening with your money right now. It's not just movement. It's supernatural intervention. The reason you're feeling pressure is because the flow is breaking through tight spaces. The reason things feel urgent is because God isn't waiting anymore. He's decided. It's time. When God decides to move, no human plan, institution, policy, or delay can override His command. and He has commanded a release over your finances. He has spoken a divine yes where others said no. He has overruled the voices that once silenced your worth. You're not stepping into money just to have it. You're stepping into authority. Wealth is a tool in this realm, and God is making sure that tool is now in your hands, because what's ahead of you will require it. You didn't just pray for money, you prayed for alignment. You asked for divine order, and God, being who He is, couldn't just send you money without first preparing the room for it. He cleaned house. He exposed what needed to be removed. He pulled you out of systems that would have devoured your energy. And now, finally, the room is ready. The environment has been cleared. The angels assigned to your life have already begun the transfer process. And no, that's not symbolic. That's real. Financial angels exist. Divine timing exists. And when they collide at the right intersection, acceleration happens. You're standing at that intersection now. Every step you take from this moment forward is on blessed ground. Every word you speak is carrying the power to unlock doors that once mocked you. And every hour you wait is not wasted, because the wait is no longer empty. It's working. The financial frequency surrounding your name has shifted. The name that once went unrecognized is now being remembered. You're being called into rooms you didn't apply for. You're being positioned in conversations you never imagined. Contracts are being looked at again. Opportunities are circling back around. But this time, you're not desperate for them. You're being desired by them. This is the move of God. This is the shift you waited for. You don't need to manipulate the system to win anymore. The system is being reconfigured to favor you. You don't have to force open doors. Doors are being opened before you arrive, and they're staying open because heaven has authorized it. Chosen one, what's coming is going to look like favor, but it's really fulfillment. Fulfillment of promises spoken over you long ago. Promises that were archived in the divine timeline, waiting for this exact moment to be released. You are in the moment, and the moment is moving everything. God is moving your finances. There are moments when silence speaks louder than any sound. When your bank doesn't move, when your account looks still, when nothing seems to shift, that's when God is the most active. He doesn't need to announce every move He makes. He moves in the silence. He maneuvers in the pause. And chosen one, you've been in the pause. You've been in the place where nothing seems to align, and it almost convinced you that movement stopped. But here's what's really been happening. The silence was sacred. The stillness was divine strategy. Behind the scenes, God has been untangling the knots in your financial pathway. He's been unlocking barriers you never saw. He's been recalibrating numbers, shifting dates, reworking digital systems that carry your currency. Yes, even in the world of zeros and ones, divine favor moves. This isn't just about manifestation. This is about orchestration. This is about precision. God is not improvising with your finances. He is executing a pre-written sequence that must unfold at the right time, or it won't reach the right place. You thought it was just about money coming in, but it's so much more. God has been clearing the toxic money loops that once stole from you. You've experienced seasons where the moment money arrived, it left. A pattern of almosts, a rhythm of just enough. But that rhythm was not divine. It was residue. Residue from previous agreements. Agreements made in survival. Agreements rooted in panic. You were trying to stay afloat, not knowing that survival-based financial decisions leave trails that attract loss. But God is cleaning that trail now. He's canceling the echoes of those agreements. He's shutting down every frequency that was broadcasting scarcity into your timeline. That's why some connections suddenly fell off. That's why certain people no longer call you. They were part of that trail. They were part of that survival frequency. And now, the divine flow requires a new environment, a new set of listeners, a new frequency chamber where wealth doesn't just arrive, it stays. God isn't giving you a payout. He's establishing a stream. Streams don't depend on a one-time miracle. They operate on cycles. And your cycle is restarting. Not a cycle of debt, but a cycle of deposits. Not a rhythm of lack, but a rhythm of increase. You won't just receive, you'll become the place that others receive from. The blessing isn't coming to you just for your comfort. It's coming to you because you've been chosen to carry the weight of overflow responsibly. And because you're chosen, the rules are different. What works for others doesn't apply to you. That's why you couldn't force the bank to move when you tried. That's why the doors you knocked on didn't respond. You were trying to use earthly codes for a divine transaction, but God has now authorized the heavenly code. And when the divine code activates, physical systems adjust, financial institutions shift, delays bow, algorithms break, policies bend. You are not here to chase deposits. You are here to host them. You are a landing zone for divine currency. That's why the warfare over your finances was so intense. That's why every time you got close to a financial breakthrough, it seemed like something interfered. Because the enemy doesn't fight what isn't dangerous. And your wealth is dangerous. Dangerous to systems of control. Dangerous to patterns of manipulation. Because your wealth will not be used for show. It will be used for freedom. You carry a financial anointing that doesn't just stop at your bank account. It flows into the territory around you. It blesses your bloodline. It upgrades your household. It provides relief to people who have never even met you. You are not a consumer of blessings. You are a generator. That's why God had to strengthen your character before He moved your money. He had to make sure your heart could handle the weight of divine wealth. And now that your heart is ready, your hands are too. Your hands are about to handle sums you once feared. Not because you doubted God, but because you doubted if you were ready. But God says, you're ready now. The weight will not crush you. The wealth will not distract you. The increase will not disconnect you from your essence. You're going to remain grounded. You're going to remain centered. Because this isn't just a financial elevation. It's a spiritual assignment. Chosen one, you're in a new bracket now. Not a tax bracket, a divine bracket. One where miracles are the minimum and manifestations are the normal. Where financial favor isn't rare, it's routine. You're not going to pray for scraps anymore. You're going to steward abundance. You're not going to beg for support. You'll attract investors, allies, and partners who are aligned with your destiny. Because God is not just sending you resources, He's sending you right people. Watch how suddenly it happens. A payment you didn't expect. A transfer that was delayed, now approved. A refund that comes out of nowhere. An account that shows more than you left in it. The system is responding. Heaven has made the call, and earth is picking up. The instruction has been sent, and the angels of provision are carrying it out. You won't need to ask twice. You won't need to chase. The chase is over. Now comes the harvest. There are days that seem ordinary, and then there are days that carry divine disruption. Interruptions designed by God to reorder the course of your life. You're not in a routine moment anymore. You're in the type of shift that doesn't ask for permission. It just unfolds. It manifests. It reveals. And in this moment, your finances are being called into alignment, not by human hands, but by divine force. The movement you feel isn't imagined. It's encoded. And that code has been unlocked. Chosen one, this financial movement was never about luck. It was never about finding the right moment. It was about becoming the right frequency. And you've done that. You've endured the stillness. You've survived the silence. You kept walking even when the path disappeared under your feet. And heaven took note. Every tear you wiped alone, every no you swallowed, every bill you stared at with no idea how it would be paid, none of it was wasted. All of it became data. And God used that data to craft a financial answer that couldn't be denied. This is that answer in motion. There's a trembling happening in the systems that used to overlook you. Systems that once flagged your name with limits, lack, and low ceilings. God is reprogramming those systems now. Suddenly, what was once flagged as insufficient is now being marked as approved. The labels placed on you are being stripped away, and new definitions are being assigned. Banks, databases, credit systems, grant platforms, they're all being nudged into your favor. Not because you changed them, but because God changed the energy around your name. The currency of heaven is not paper. It's obedience. And your obedience has been a loud signal to the divine. You didn't always understand what was happening, but you stayed open. You didn't always feel confident, but you kept moving. And that posture, that consistency, has made you eligible for something irreversible. God doesn't do temporary. When He moves completely. When He blesses, He overflows. And what's coming to you will not be fragile. It will be fortified. You're stepping into a new economy, one that is not controlled by what you see. This economy runs on faith, on favor, on divine momentum. It's not just that money is coming. It's that money is changing its direction to find you. Debts are being canceled because heaven knows your assignment is too critical to be delayed. Checks are being issued under your name because divine order has now caught up with divine promise. You're going to see people trying to explain what's happening in your life. They'll search for logical reasons, but they won't find any. Because what's happening isn't logical. It's prophetic. It's precise. And it's personal. God is being deliberate about you. He's not just pouring into your account. He's pouring into your legacy. He's anchoring wealth where it can be trusted. He's making you a blueprint, a model, a sign to others that yes, supernatural provision is real. And it looks like this. There was a time you felt invisible, financially forgotten, bypassed while others seemed to flourish. But that invisibility was a covering. It wasn't punishment. It was protection. God was hiding you in plain sight while He strengthened your spiritual infrastructure. Because what He's about to reveal through you required a firm foundation. And now that the structure has been built in secret, the abundance will show up in public. You are about to be publicly favored. Not for applause, not for validation, but for assignment. There are territories you are meant to touch, and wealth is the vehicle to get you there. There are dreams you buried because they required resources you didn't have. But God never forgot those dreams. He archived them in eternity, and now they are being reactivated. Watch as old visions rise up again, stronger this time, clearer this time, and backed by resources that weren't there before. You'll notice strange timing, payments showing up early, messages from people who owe you suddenly offering to repay, system errors that benefit you, transfers that go through without delay. These aren't coincidences. They are divine timestamps. You are in the middle of a financial phenomenon that is not being broadcast by news outlets, but it's being announced in the spirit. There are whispers in heaven with your name in them, and when heaven whispers, the earth listens. That's why your body feels different lately. That's why your spirit feels like it's standing at the edge of something new. You've been sensing a wave, and now that wave is arriving. And this wave carries gold. It carries digits. It carries divine documents. There are contracts being printed with your favor in the fine print. There are signatures being added to releases that benefit you. And there is a divine deposit being prepared that will redefine how you view lack forever. Lack will become a memory. Not because you finally figured it out, but because God decided it was time. And when God decides, it's done. You don't have to hustle the heavens. You don't need to convince the Creator. He's already convinced. He's already written the approval. He's already sent the instruction. It's unfolding now, and your only role is to stay open, stay ready, and recognize what's moving. Because what's moving is not just money. It's momentum. It's destiny. It's proof that you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. And the preparation is complete. You've entered a rare window where heaven and earth are aligning on your behalf. What you once thought would take years is collapsing into days. The pace of manifestation has increased, not because you did more, but because God said, now. It's the now that shifts timelines. It's the now that reverses waiting. And right now, You're standing in that divine now. Chosen one. Can you feel it? The shift isn't coming. It's already begun. You're in the flow of something irreversible. The kind of financial restoration that carries the weight of divine justice. This is not random. It's not generic. This is targeted movement. What was stolen is being returned, but not in the same measure. God doesn't just restore, He multiplies. You're not getting back what you lost. You're getting what you were denied, plus interest, plus overflow, plus divine favor. There are funds with your fingerprint on them. There are blessings with your exact energy encrypted inside. They were always meant for you, but for a season they were withheld. Not to punish you, but to protect the integrity of the release. God wanted you to receive it with full authority, not partial confidence. That's why it took so long. Not because heaven forgot, but because heaven was perfecting the moment. Now that moment is here. Doors are no longer waiting to be knocked on. They're opening by themselves. Opportunities are no longer hiding in the shadows. They're coming to your front door. There's no longer a question of if money will move in your life. It's how much and how fast. The system has recognized your spiritual authority, and it's responding. The delay has expired. The resistance has collapsed. What stood in the way has been dismantled. This isn't just about getting money. It's about being repositioned in a financial reality that matches your divine identity. You're not entering a temporary blessing. You're being recoded into a new state of provision. There will be no back and forth. No more roller coasters of just enough. No more cycles of build and break. You are stepping into divine sustainability. Resources will flow like breath, constant, automatic, and divinely programmed. The systems that once rejected you are now making room for you. Algorithms are shifting. Financial applications are being reevaluated. What was once a no is becoming a yes. But not because the system changed its mind. Because God made the system bow. You are not limited by earthly processes anymore. You've been upgraded to divine priority status. Heaven's endorsement now outweighs man's opinion.